Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. As I'm sure most of you guys know by now, the Haunting of Verdansk event is now live in Modern Warfare and Warzone, and this is probably one of, if not the coolest event that we've ever seen all year long. And while it brought a ton of new face value content to the game, like new modes and special Halloween shop items, it also brought quite a few Easter eggs to the game, some new free rewards, and even more. So as we go over it all today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, we are getting super close to 600k. We're right around 10,000 subs away right now. So if you want to help us reach that mark before Cold War launches, feel free to subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with everything going on in Call of Duty. Now, when it comes to the Haunting event, this has got to be one of the most in-depth events that we've ever had when it comes to Easter eggs, because there are literally a ton of them. I'm sure if you've been exploring Haunted Verdansk, you've probably come across a few of them, maybe accidentally. I'll tell you what, my heart rate in this mode compared to my heart rate in the normal quads or trios is night and day. Shout out to the chest jump scares. It was funny at first, right? And now I'm just kind of scared to loot places. But anyways, I wanted to run through all the Easter eggs that I've found for the Haunting event so far. There's quite a few of them, like I said, but first and foremost here, you might remember that for quite some time now, the TVs in the game, both in multiplayer and in Warzone, would occasionally flash images of Ghost. And this was initially a teaser for Ghost coming as an operator, I want to say back in like Season 2 or so. But now with the Haunting event, the TVs have changed to broadcast some images and videos of Billy, aka Jigsaw. So if you see any of those around the map, you'll be able to see him flash on the screen for a few brief moments. We also have a special Easter egg over at the train station area. If you go ahead and head on down into the metro station at the train station, you'll notice there's occasionally an extra train that comes by known as the Ghost Train. And this one doesn't actually make a stop at the metro point like the actual cars do. And instead it just zooms by on its way to wherever it's headed, where we've got absolutely no idea. I've also heard some of the other metro stations feature a few unique Easter eggs as well, including this one sort of larger Easter egg that encompasses the majority of the map, and that is just simply the brand new Ghost characters. I've noticed these a ton over in the farmland area. I've seen them in various houses and windows on the map too. You can actually find quite a few ghosts roaming around. They'll appear as this sort of blue shadowy figure for a few moments, then they'll disappear shortly thereafter, only to reappear once again. Now, you can't really interact with them or anything like that. However, it is definitely a surprise when they appear out of the blue, pun absolutely intended. Now, one specific ghost you may recognize actually lives over in the farmland area by one of the barns, sort of on the lower east side of the map. Here inside the barn, you're gonna find some rather brutal evidence of some illegal activities, I guess we could say, and if you listen closely, you're gonna be able to hear a chainsaw revving in the background, and then if you actually head out front, right outside the sort of larger barn door, you're gonna be able to see Leatherface himself hanging out. Again, you can't really interact with him, however, he is one of the more noticeable and recognizable ghosts that we've got around Verdansk. In addition to that, above the prison, you can actually see some ominous red figures floating around. They kind of remind me of the Dementors from Harry Potter, and they actually stand out quite a bit against the darkness of the night. Then if you were to head on over to the graveyard area, sort of in between Boneyard and the train station and whatnot, you'll actually notice a lot of paranormal activity here. Here you can see things like the ghostly figures from all the other areas on the map. You can see a ghost cat, even sort of this dark shadowy figure that's a bit harder to spot. It's like a different kind of ghost, I guess. And what initially made me jump here is the fact that hands are actually going to reach out of the ground in certain locations, and there's this sort of special sound effect that goes along with those. So as suspected, the graveyard is definitely a very hot spot when it comes to the Haunting event Easter eggs. Now, it's quite possible that there's even more Easter eggs around Verdansk that I haven't found yet, so if you happen to stumble across any I didn't mention here, by all means, drop those down in the comments below. But that's not quite it for the Easter eggs in general. Both in multiplayer and also in Warzone, if you end up going on a 3-kill streak, your head turns into a jack-o'-lantern, so you kind of stand out a bit more because of that. And then, if you are to go on a 10-kill streak in either mode, the jack-o'-lantern then lights on fire and you get a flaming pumpkin head, which definitely stands out. And because of that, it is really easy to tell who all is actually on a higher streak, so just keep that in mind when playing if you happen to see anyone running around with a pumpkin on their head. Then another big part of the Haunting of Verdansk event is, of course, all the various Halloween rewards you can actually get while the event is still live. This includes the Spooky Scene calling card, the Jack-o'-lantern charm, the corpse spray, the time of season watch, the Lil Demon charm, the Joker sticker, the Woodsman spray, the Return to Dust assault rifle blueprints, the Pumpkin Peril calling card, the Oak Spray, the Chainsaw Fiend Spray, the Flashy Fate sticker, the Killing Moon emblem, the Ghoulish Gift emblem, the Scary Patch emblem, the Cleaver melee weapon, and ultimately the Pumpkin Punisher assault rifle blueprint. So in total, there are 16 different rewards here, and on that max unlock, the Pumpkin Punisher blueprint, this is actually for the Grau 556, and it features this sort of all orange camo, which honestly I think looks pretty good, alongside the Nexus barrel, the Tac laser, the PBC Hollow 7 sight, the Blackjack stock, and then also the Commando foregrip, which honestly isn't the best set of attachments. I guess it's also not the worst. Unfortunately though, if you do end up changing any of those around, it does get rid of that orange camo, so just be sure to take that into consideration. However, when it comes to actually finding these items in game, this is basically an RNG scavenger hunt where you need to land at these specific locations and open supply boxes, aka the like blue rare ones or even the orange and red legendary ones. And then if you're lucky, you're gonna end up getting one of those special items. You'll unlock it when the chest is open and it has like a burning flame coming out of it. I believe you actually need to pick up the weapon that comes out of that crate to get the drop itself. And then if you're not lucky, you're gonna end up getting a jump scare, and just a forewarning, these are incredibly loud. I get the jump scare part. I didn't get the audio at like 2000% part, so that was definitely an unfortunate surprise from my experience at least. Then you can also just have an average looting experience, I guess, and not get any reward or any jump scare. You'll just get regular loot. So for these, you end up needing to loot Storage Town, Boneyard, the Superstore, the Dam, Hills, the Airport, the Moving Train, which can be kind of tricky, so plan accordingly on that one. Then also the Military Base, Hospital, TV Station, Downtown, Quarry, the Stadium, Port, Lumberyard, and then finally the Gulag, and I believe that just counts as the sort of prison area underneath, not the actual prison area up top. Now, you can actually do multiple areas in one game if you're lucky, and personally, I would recommend going into Plunder to complete these just because that's going to make your life so much easier in case you do end up getting taken out, and plus, it's also way easier to do more in one game with Plunder as well, so that is definitely the best way to go about doing those, and of course, these items are all going to be available until November 3rd. Now, I also wanted to bring up something that we got a slight tease for over on Twitter recently. This is courtesy of Reed, who is the lead VFX artist on multiplayer for Infinity Ward. He ended up tweeting a poll earlier on this month that said, "Suggestion time. Tracer packs are a fun way to add personal style to MW. For this round, I'd love some suggestions. These are the most popular internally, so go ahead and vote and or leave a comment." And here we had the options of acid tracers, cake tracers, hand-drawn and or 2D tracers, or other. And as you can see, the acid tracers won by a pretty large margin, but also Reed followed up that tweet by saying, "Thanks to everyone that voted, we'll be doing the acid tracers. Several of the other suggestions in the poll were either already scheduled or completed, so I'm hoping for a lot of happy players in future updates." Meaning, I think we're getting the cake and the 2D tracers at some points in the future as well, obviously alongside the acid tracers too, which, hey, I'm about to have my cake and shoot it too, so honestly, I cannot complain here. We've got some pretty spicy tracers coming to the store here in the near future. Also, I just wanted to update you guys on something we talked about here recently on the channel, that being the Season 6 Combat Pack. We initially brought this up in the Season 6 Rare Items video, and at the time, the Season 5 Combat Pack was still active, but now the Season 6 pack is available. This comes with the Jailbird skin for Rodion, a handgun blueprint, a melee blueprint, a charm, a calling card, an emblem, a sticker, and then also some double XP. And keep in mind, this is free if you have PlayStation Plus. Anyways, there you have it. With all of that being said, those are effectively all of the Haunting Event Easter eggs, all the free rewards for the event, and some insight as to what tracer packs we're going to have available here soon as well. And that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And, of course, if you're new here, if you want to help us reach 600,000 subs before Black Ops Cold War releases, feel free to subscribe. That way you can stay on top of the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, and basically everything else in between. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products. All of those links can be found down in the description below, and once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.